Whoa!
Hallelujah, hallelujah. We're going to see the King. No. Anyway.
Simon's back. Simon is back. Okay, I want to get the story. So, everybody to another Warriors Night show.
I was back last week.
I know, but you're really back this week. You were half
I was back last week. No.
See, this is what happens when you have men at church for 2 Sundays. It's a residue that came back on them.
Help us, Jesus. Oh my gosh. It is good to be back. Yes. Oh my gosh. I haven't been to transformation in 3 weeks. And the first thing I see in transformation is a cupboard. So anyway.
Don't ask. Don't ask.
I'll tell you
Don't
later.
ask. Don't
Yeah.
ask. We were talking about that on the after show.
I will forget these guys. Welcome everybody to another Warriors United show. We are
How was your weekend, Rupert? How was your weekend, sir? Wait a minute. Yes, for those who were listening and watching or waiting or what's going on here, please subscribe, push the share button, and push the like button because you like us, you love us, and we love you too. Thank you very much. Anyway, Rupert, how was your weekend?
My weekend was good, thank you. Beautiful weekend. I thank God for it. We had a wonderful weekend. I don't even know I remember totally what I did, but I know it was a good weekend. What about you guys? How was your weekend?
Dang, man.
I'm sorry, I can't get beyond this man right now. I'm sorry.
No, my weekend. Well, I work for the Orioles, so worked the weekend. But I do got to give a shout out to, it was an official birthday, May the 30th. It was Aria. Happy birthday, my 3-year-old granddaughter. Yes, Aria. Yeah, but apart from that, it was great to be back at church again, to see the Saints. So the weekend was quiet. How was your weekend, Mark?
Oh, hold on. Well, why does it remind me of play rehearsal?
Yeah.
I can't get words out of the script.
Wow.
The weekend was busy doing a lot of work at the church, getting ready for the upcoming Holy Convocation. Left there, went to Home Depot, got 10 bags of mulch to do some more landscaping around my house, and got ready for worship service on Sunday. It's funny how Friday night, when you close your eyes, you wake up, it's like, boom, it's Monday morning already. Sometimes the weekend can go just like that. But overall, it was a great weekend.
He's up in the morning. I'm talking about he gonna wake up and it's Monday morning.
I'm already up.
He's already up. It's 4 o'clock.
1:20.
Lord Jesus. Anyway,
but no, it was no games this weekend, man.
Nothing.
Yeah, sports was not. I mean, there was baseball, there was some hockey, but I don't watch that much anymore.
NBA finals start Thursday.
So. Yeah.
And of course, the Caps messed up again and lost in the playoffs. It's like, every year, man.
And then we just have to wait for the Olympics coming up. So
excited about that.
Yep.
Jamaica's gonna do well again this year. I'm happy.
Huh? What you say?
You have track and field. That's about it.
What you say?
I got you, man. I got your back on this one.
Yeah, we're gonna do
USA, bro. I'm sorry, USA. No, I'm not apologizing. USA all the way.
Okay, so first of all, half the team on the USA team is from a different country anyway. They're just second generation.
But why isn't it everybody comes to USA to practice and train and go back to their countries? Explain that to me.
You could only run away from lines for so long.
It's not true.
It's not, you know what? The truth of the matter is, people come to the U.S. because the U.S. has the better facilities.
Yes. So okay then.
Drop the mic. Boom.
No, pick it up because I got it right now. So why is it then then players who play in America, but because they can't get on the national team, they go play for another country? Because they go back. Yeah, because their grandfather used to be a different nationality.
Well, now with dual citizenship, though, there's a lot of dual citizenship out there.
Exactly.
So you can be a U.S. citizen and another country's citizen. Like I heard they're opening it up for Jamaica. Jamaica-borns can be citizens of Jamaica now and the U.S.
Did you say dual citizenship?
Dual
You got a
citizenship.
joke? You got jokes?
Oh.
You got jokes? Here we go again. Oh Lord.
Oh boy.
Oh, boy.
But when you're dual citizenship, would your finances be different? Because I'm asking that question. If you live in one country and you somewhere else, and someone else looking at your finances in another country, is that going to be detrimental to you?
It all depends on what country you're leaving that money in. And
Well, first of all, you got to empty your pockets when you go to another country, so you don't try and use American money in England and then come back and you're gonna use £5 instead of $5. So
I think he's talking about banking, right?
yeah, I'm just
right. So I mean, but again, American money is really, it's in a lot of countries where you can use the US dollar anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But for most countries, the US dollar is recognized, but you can't use it in stores. So you're gonna have to get a different bank account. But you have to go to a world bank, right? A bank that is nationally, is worldly, internationally known, rather than just a bank that's local. Like you won't go to the PNC. I don't know if you have PNC in Maryland. You won't go to PNC Bank.
PNC.
Yeah.
Right. You're not going to do that you're not going to do it in England. It's not going to be so easily transferable. Well, banks now are so connected that there's a lot of things you can do. ATMs, wire transfers, all those kind of things. But you give to a good segue though, Mark.
He did it on purpose. Yeah, he thought he was slick, but he did it on purpose. That was a good move, though. It's called professional.
It was nice.
It's called professional. Yeah.
So
tonight,
go ahead.
Tonight we're going to be talking about, should you solely trust someone else to handle your finances? So we're going to talk. I mean, we were talking earlier about, we know a lot of sports figures who fall in this situation. You want to talk about it?
Yeah, for instance, well, he wasn't that bad, but the baseball player, was it Ohani? What's his name? How you say pronounce his name?
Yeah.
Otani.
Yeah.
So he's getting all these millions, and then he's a interpreter who was interpreting his money into gambling and then gets caught. So that puts a bad name on Otani, even though actually he didn't even know nothing about it. So he got off that. I mean, that wasn't his fault. But I mean, that's just one step.
Mm-hmm.
You can't even trust your interpreter. He taking all your millions just for a bet. Lord have mercy.
And you can't even trust your family sometimes because you're going to have someone who can be your, power of attorney?
Yep.
Who oversees everything. And you think they are overseeing things for you properly. And they themselves could be taking your money, doing something else with it. But now, again, you've trusted them to look at everything. So what do you do in this instance?
Right. And there's an old age question, right? Because it's based on age, right? Family, friends, or a stranger. Who are you going to trust your wealth to? And really, to be honest, you can be right or wrong on any case, right? Like you said, family members, athletes, the old, young up and comers. It used to be musicians back in the day. Musicians were getting ripped off, not knowing the business. And the moguls, the owners of these record labels, were taking their money. I remember TLC. They sold 10 million records and they still were broke per se. Right? Which is crazy. You sell 10 million records, you think you were doing well, and they were still complaining about how they won 10 million. They sold 10 million records. They were winning Grammys, and they were still talking. And when they came in, were broke because their deal was horrible. If you watch the NWA movie, I forget what it's called. Something. I forget what it's called. The NWA movie that talked about Dr. Dre and Eazy-E, where Eazy-E and the manager were keeping a ton of the money, and what's his name, Dr. Dre and what's his name found out, and they were upset. Suge Knight doing it to music. So musicians were killing Motown. Let's talk about Motown Records.
Yeah,
right. Yep. They were killing it. So it becomes a question now, even in the church, right? Can you trust somebody to handle the finance of the church? The
Mhm.
Catholic Church, straight out of Compton. Thank you very much. Straight out of Compton. Thank you very
Thank you,
much.
Marvin.
Thank you. So even the church, you have to wonder, because the Catholic Church, they have different rules about, or not different rules, but they have different ways of collecting your money.
Yeah.
And it's strange because some of these things are actually very good, but should you trust the church? For instance, how many of us have insurance policies, life insurance policies? Pretty much probably everybody, right?
Mhm.
Do we have 10% going to our church?
No.
Not, right? The Catholic Church, that's how they make a ton of their money. Every one of those people give 10% a legacy tithe to the church when they pass. Is it wrong? Is it right?
That's up to the person who writes their will or writes their financial statement. I mean, it's their choice.
Yeah, but some churches put pressure on you to do it.
Yeah.
Because the pastor says you have to leave a legacy. You have to leave this. You should do this.
And it's interesting you say, I'm not going to mention the church name. It is a church in the Maryland area where their members have to show their W-2s.
What?
I'm not going to mention the church name, but they have to show their W-2s.
Because I don't want to go there.
Right. Yep. You're a member, you have to show your W-2.
I'm sure he would tell you up front if you were thinking about it.
I'll tell you the name of the church offline, but I'm not going to tell you online. Yeah,
Wow.
See, someone else heard it too. Joseph heard it too.
It's crazy, man, that some churches do strange things. But beside that,
ATM machines in the back of their church too.
True.
I'm not mentioning that church.
But besides that, when you're talking about that, we do have to find people that are trustworthy.
Yeah.
And someone that's an expert in dealing with finances. So that way, when you do entrust someone with it, again, I'm using the word entrust, you're hoping they're doing the right thing for you. And that's the challenge. How do you know if that person's really doing things for your best interest?
You're asking me?
Asking you.
Well, you one, pray, of course, but we have to know. You have to kind of know the people you're dealing with, right? Family members. Was the person always good to you when you didn't have? The thing about helping family is when you don't have money, you never see it. But once you have money, you suddenly see people you never knew were your family. And the way I look at my family and any family you deal with is when you don't have it, how were you treated? Did they treat you well? And when you got money, were they the first person knocking at your door? Did they leave you alone? And now you can kind of, talk to those who left you alone and said, this is not my money, this is your money. And you could, and if they have enough knowledge or they can help you in certain ways, I would trust them. Those folks who are always coming at you when you didn't have money or when you do have money, they're always coming at you. I wouldn't trust them with some decisions to be made.
And sometimes it's the amount of, if we're talking about money, it's the amount of money you get or you win or whatever. Then all of a sudden, just like you said, people coming out the woodworks.
Out the woodwork.
Because of the amount of money that you get, and they're always going to give you a, remember when 2 years ago you borrowed $300 from me, and he's like, I did. So I mean, the amount of money, and like the sports, we talking millions. So their advisors, I mean, do they choose an advisor, or does an advisor volunteer to manage their money?
Well, that's a good point. Are those advisors in the sports arena, like those professionals, are there advisors assigned to them by the clubs?
No.
I mean, I don't know. I'm not able to fact check it or not, but I'm wondering whether or not if they are assigned to them, or they have to do their own due diligence
I think
and go out and find
I
it.
think it's your own due.
Two
diligence.
things normally happen. One is when you have to get an agent. Most of you talk about pro sports, right? So pro sports, you don't have to get an agent. The agent, if they're a part of a conglomerate, normally have advisors they associate themselves with, so they will give you names and blah 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 that you can call and pick up, or you do your own research. And then there are people that will just call you. There are cold called advisors who will call you and say, I am handling Simon Round's, $50 million contract. So you can depend on me and you can use him as a reference if I'm going to work with you. So there's 3 ways. So they'll call you. Your agent may tell you how to find one, or you do your own research. What's the best way to do it? For me, do my own research. If it was me, if I was in that position, I would do my own research. Matter of fact, I may try to learn myself how to handle my finances. That is the best way.
So you think to start early, because now college are getting paid now. These athletes are getting paid now. So I'm sure their parents are up there somewhere managing finance or whatever. But I mean, that's just another thing there, an added thing right there.
Yeah, unfortunately, we are right. Our education system doesn't teach money in school. We don't have that. We don't have that conversation, right? So nobody sits back and says, okay, this is what a bank account is. This is what savings, this is what interest is. This is what this looks like. This is what this looks like. You don't learn that, right? If your parents don't tell you that.
Well, I dispute that, because the high school I went to, they taught you that. It was called consumer math, where you had to take that class. They taught you how to balance your checkbook, how to do your bank statements, how to read your financial statements. So in my high school I went to, they taught you that.
You must have went to one of those nice ritzy Jewish schools, because they don't
in accounting. In accounting.
Don't hate, because people taught that, okay?
It must have been one of those areas, because that's the only schools that normally taught it. And I said, because you're taught as a young Jewish man, you are taught that at a very young age. You were taught to learn about money. You were taught to save. We talk about it now in the African American community. Back in 2000, 4% of African Americans had a savings account. So it is very interesting that 4%. We didn't learn how to save because people weren't able to save. Now that we're able to save, more people are beginning to learn and teaching their children how to do it.
The value of it, correct. Right.
But
I'm not sure. Bishop Carrington, he said it's coming. So yeah, I'm just to the last thing he said. I'm assuming he's saying that they're going to teach it more at school or colleges or whatever.
I think churches are beginning to get into that. I think maybe Bishop is talking about his church, because more churches are beginning to get into that discussion, teaching the youth how to handle their finances, because we also know that we've got to teach the youth how to tithe and how to offer it, right? That is no longer an easy thing to collect from the African American youth. They look at spending their money other ways. So that's a different story. So if we can teach them how to save financially, because I always started, when I taught finance stuff, I always started with, if you don't tithe, none of this is going to work.
Right.
That's how I always started. I said tithing is important.
Before you get to the next question, because I know it's transformation, we did a section on financial peace. And that taught you probably heard of that unit, where it taught you how to save, how to look out different things, how to budget. So some churches do have programs. A lot of them don't, unfortunately. And to your point, the lack of knowledge puts you in deeper danger.
Yeah. And that we can talk about the financial peace, the 8-10-10 rule, 70-20-10 rule, all those different things. They're out there. But the biggest thing is, like you said, you need to know how to read your bank statement. You have to know there's fees coming out for certain things. You have to know when you go to the bank what they're saying to you, and so you know what fees are coming out. I mean, ATM fees are ridiculous. If you go to ATM, they're ridiculous, right?
What's up with that?
I don't even know how banks can get away with it. You're telling me for me to use your ATM machine because it's not the same bank, it costs you $3 for a transaction?
Five.
Yes.
Yeah,
Five?
it's ridiculous.
Where's five? I ain't get to a 5 yet, but where's
I
that?
mean, you go to
There's
certain
another-
vacation spots, yeah, you can get
Oh,
five.
that's different.
Yeah.
Vacation spots, that's different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Mhm.
so it's crazy how, you know, these things happen this way. But we got a lot of stuff. A lot of people are asking some good stuff. So let's hit it and then come back.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is actually a good conversation.
I think Joseph, yeah. So Joseph says every family member don't need to be in the church money business.
Joseph, I applaud you.
Go ahead,
I
Joseph.
applaud you. I applaud you. I applaud you.
So
But every family member need to share, subscribe, and like. Every family member. Thank you, Joseph.
family member.
Need to share, push the button, like it, push the button, and subscribe. We love you. Thank you. Let's go.
Yeah. So this is the thing. So what? Okay. So 50 years ago, every pastor handled the finances.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
That has changed over the year, where churches have come to the conclusion, leaders have come to the conclusion, pastors should not. I still handle our church finances. Should I? Probably not. But I still do in some ways. But I think that really is a good question or a good comment, because if you're a leader, right, and we talk about who should handle your finances, as a pastor and you have a family, what happens to that untimely taken away of that pastor? What happens to his family? What have we done for the family to make sure that the wife or the children don't say, well, I got to take over because we got needs at our house. And this is how our father took care of us, was through ministry. And now that he's gone, the church just drops you. Oh no, you're no longer. That's crazy to me. That's crazy to me, because I was a kid growing up in a house where that was my dad. My mom and dad retired when I think I was pre-high school.
Mhm.
And if my father just passed away, what would have happened to my mom? What did the church have to be able to give her? So there is that question. So should the family get into church money business?
I guess it depends.
It's a tough question.
Mm.
Yeah.
It's a
Right.
tough
What's
question.
Debatable.
I mean, does transformation have I shouldn't say transformation, but do you know of churches that
I'll plead the fifth.
have something?
I'm not involved in the
I'm not
financial
even-
aspect, so I
nope.
can't answer that question.
Nope.
Can't answer that question.
Yeah, you want me to make a call?
All right. What's our next question up for tonight?
Stan Lassane. I'll read it here.
Go ahead. I was going to read it. but
Go ahead. Go
ahead.
No.
No. Our good friend Stan, who's also part of our security team
Yes.
at church and one of our adjutants,
Mhm.
he says you also have to be active in your financial building. Pay attention to what they are doing, and that is so true.
That's what you were saying earlier. Yeah.
Yes, got to pay
Yeah.
attention, because again,
Mhm.
you could be swindled.
Lionel Messi, right? We talked about that, before,
Yes.
right? Lionel
Mhm.
Messi. I know. Sorry if you want to go over that story with everybody.
No, you can go over that story.
Yes.
And just-
So
yeah.
Lionel Messi, as we
He's
know,
still the second best. So yeah.
is one of the greatest soccer players to ever, football players you should be known as, to ever
Mhm.
walk this earth.
Mhm.
His contracts were massive. $200
Yep.
million,
Yes.
$250 million for a year
Ridiculous. Yeah.
to play football. He almost had a huge problem with taxes. He almost went to jail.
Yep.
Because he wasn't aware that his accountants weren't doing certain things that they were supposed to be paying.
Mm.
And he didn't know certain taxes weren't being paid, and he had to go to court. And thank God he was able to prove that he knew nothing about this.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he had to end up paying some super amount of money. Probably did, but
Court fees.
he could have went to jail
Yes.
for tax evasion. I mean, that's crazy.
One of the richest soccer players of all time in jail.
All because somebody
All
else.
because someone else
See?
Yeah.
messed up his finances.
Mhm.
And it wasn't like he didn't know. It wasn't like he didn't have money. He had money, but he just never pay taxes or something.
Didn't know what happened to his money, right?
250 million. He had money. Right, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So that was the crazy thing. So so Stan's 100% right. You have to know.
Yeah.
Even though you trust the person, even though you know the person's doing the best on your behalf, still know.
Exactly.
Ask
Keep
questions.
tabs. Ask questions.
Okay, so for the older folks that are watching, I don't care if it is your son and your daughter who love you so much. Ask questions.
What you doing with my money?
What is my balance?
Right. Show me.
Know your balances.
Right.
Right? You can trust them all you want, but it doesn't mean that they can't make mistakes. Doesn't mean sometimes people aren't stealing. Sometimes you just made a mistake. And you need to ask questions. You need to know your passwords. You need to know. I think that the show that we had with the morticians, right? That was a great show. But one of the things they said was have a place where all your documents are. Know where your documents are. Have your passwords in there. Have those things in there so you know what you have. There are so many older folks that I know don't know what they have.
Well, the sad thing about that too, with seniors who are, I don't use the word senile, but it's not all there. So to them, they can be completely oblivious to what's going on because someone can tell them anything, and they may fall for what they're being told because they don't have the know-how. And that's the sad thing about it. A lot of seniors are truly being taken advantage of.
Yes, and so we'll segue real quick because there's some good or more comments. Let's segue to that point.
Sure.
So power of attorney is important. The POA, right? Power of attorney is important. But you have to be careful because the court will not hold the power of attorney up if the person was senile, dementia, anything like that. If they're not in the right mind, and I found this out recently because Deborah's a lawyer, and I was doing something helping somebody out at church, and one of the things that they wanted to make sure was that Debbie was like, we have to make sure because if the doctor even mentions dementia or something like that, then you cannot sign his power of attorney.
Really?
Okay.
Now the problem is even the kids can't. So now you have a problem. Because how are you going to deal with that person's finances? Because that person might have a house, might have a car, right? Have a bank account, might have stocks, might have bonds, might have all these different things that are valuable and have a dollar amount connected to it. But yet you can't control those assets. Now, when they get that phone call, that fake phone call, and they agree and start giving out their information to somebody, all the money can start to be stolen. So you want to help out your parents. You want to help out your grandparents before any of those things set in. Because you do want to have. Now, here's the question. We go right back to our question, right? You trust.
Trust. Ouch.
Right?
Trust.
Trust. Okay.
Oh, truest. No, true.
My students and I have shared the same sentiment. We wish topics such as budgeting and financial planning were taught in school. With that said, I'm thankful for my parents and their life lessons. I don't know who your parents are, but hey, whatever.
Me neither. Who are they, Holly?
Be thankful if you want to. I don't know who they are. Whatever.
Yeah.
Last night we talked in our men's Bible discussion about jealousy and envy. I'll just leave it at that. I'll just leave it at that. Jealousy and envy. So anyway.
But yeah, so Mark, what did you teach your kids? Since Holly is so happy, what did you teach her?
It's family values.
So okay. So you have two kids. Mark. Who would you trust?
Both of them.
Very smart. He answered it right too.
Both of them.
Yeah, but who would you trust? I know both of them, but who would be the one you would give over that responsibility?
Both of them.
You can't give both of them.
Well, put it this way, with my benefits, it's 50-50 for both of them. So
no, not what you would give away. Who would you give with the right to handle
your? It would have to be Holly since she's the oldest. So it'll be Holly, then Malachi. So it follows in that order.
Okay, so you give Simon. What about you?
Well, we have an automatic administrator in our family anyway, so it would be Simone.
Right,
Yeah. So yeah,
And she's the oldest.
she's the oldest. Yeah, but she's technically an administrator in everything we do. Anything you want to know, we call Simone, and blah, 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 it comes up. She's great. Yes, the other two are great, but we all know she's the administrator. So.
Yeah, for me, because I have one biological and three, step kids that I love. I love them all the same. I don't know. The one who's best with the money is my son, Noah. He kind of is the financial mind. He actually taught me something the other day I didn't even know. So I don't know if I might have to give it to Noah. But if it came right down to, Sophie would have the full right because she's biologically mine. But if I had to pick somebody just to run some stuff for me, it'd probably be Noah. At this point, Sophie's only 12, so she may grow into a dynamic, but Noah's already got it. So yeah, okay. So you have to kind of figure out your kids. Now, most of you said the oldest. Like for my parents, it wasn't the oldest. It was Debbie, because Debbie was legally, she knew a lot of things. So
I don't
for
know if
her,
I would trust you with any finances anyway. So I'm glad they chose Debbie.
I'm sorry, what happened?
I wouldn't trust you with finances anyway. So I'm glad they chose Debbie. I don't know if I would trust you.
Well, my sister trusted me with a lot of the decision when it came to finances. Thank you very much.
Okay.
But
Next question. Next question.
He loves to diffuse things.
Next. Oh,
School signed up to go to J.A. Bist. I don't know what that is, which is a replica of the city, with City Hall, bank, TV, and radio station, etc. Students have a job, get paid, and must manage their finances. What is that?
It must be a school program.
It must be a school program.
Because J.A. I thought would be Jamaica.
Or Nadine was speaking in tongues. I don't know. We'll ask her later.
But no, but put that. Let me put that back up, because that's actually something that's very good, right? So replica of the city, with the City Hall.
I think it's a program.
Can you be more? Clarify what that is.
School sign up to be more. Yeah, I think that's just the name of the program. It just sounds a little bit funny.
Yeah, but that's a great idea. To give that kind of, give you a job and see how you handle the money and pay rent and all that kind of stuff. And there are apps out there that do that. But I think the first thing that you should do to teach your kids is
She replied.
That's what we kind of figure was a financial program. Okay.
Yeah, financial program.
That's great.
But it costs money. It's not free. It costs money.
It's a good resource that the kids can take advantage of.
Yeah, I think the first thing you should do, though, is give your kid a savings account. Let them handle it. At age 16, the latest. You can do earlier, but age 16, the latest, because they're about to go to college. Be able to handle their finances. There's a lot of kids that go to college and can't even handle their finances.
Yeah.
I think the very first credit card I had was a Diners Club card. You remember those?
Oh, yeah.
He did say dinosaur card.
I said Diners Club card.
Okay.
And that right there taught you a lot. Then the next thing I had was an American Express. I said I'd never get American Express again, because I realized you rack up that big bill, you had to pay that bad boy at the end of the month.
Two different ways of paying, right?
But it taught you discipline. You stayed within your means. So
yeah. I didn't have a credit card right until my junior year. My junior year, I think I got my first credit card. Didn't know much about it. I just free money. Like, this interest,
bro.
This interest, man. This interest.
That's like writing a checkbook, though. You don't have no money, but you're gonna get that thing. And he's coming back on you.
Well, back in that day, right? There wasn't automatic. They couldn't take that check and automatically see if there was a balance. So yeah, you're
exactly.
Right.
It took 3 or 5 days for it.
5 days to go through. Wait a minute. I'm going to read Shirley Nelson's question. Shirley Nelson, she got a question up there. I What is that? Okay, Shirley, you're gonna kind of elaborate when we come back, please. Thank you.
So, one time I trusted people with my money and they never paid me back. My money was gone, so I couldn't trust them anymore. Yeah, Dexter, we with you, bro. Dexter, 100%, bro. I have done that. Well, to tell you, okay, so let's talk about that for a second, right? Because in the church, right? So I lend you money as my brother or my sister in Christ. You don't pay me back. Is that a sin?
But that's it's not a sin. I guess it's more of a, what's the word? It's not the word trust also, but what's the, anyway, we can carry on. But
No, go ahead. It's a trick question I use in financing.
Because when you word it, when you lend or borrow, when you word it, they can turn back on you.
You're only as good as your word, right? So if I said, "Hey, man,
Exactly, that's the word. That's it.
Can I borrow $100?" That means you're borrowing it, right? But if you say, "Yo, can you give me $100? I'll pay you back later," that means you're giving this guy this money. They don't have to give it back. They didn't say they were going to give it back. They said give them, right? So one way, if I ask you to give it to me, it's not a sin. But if I ask to borrow it, you didn't pay it back. Well, now you're stealing. So it is a sin, right? So that wording means something. So you as the lender, be careful. Be real careful, right?
It's all in the words. All in the word.
All in the words.
Oh, they're loading these questions up tonight.
My life lessons. My parents, Mark,
Jesus,
has taught me the importance of knowing where my finances are going, timely payments, consistently checking bank accounts and scores, and establishing and building credit. Hallelujah.
A to the mint.
Hallelujah.
Can I say, pull the plug?
Hey, the Bible says
it's true though. It's
train
true.
up a
No,
child.
we got it. It's true. It's
Train
all
up a
good.
child.
It's all good. Yes.
So why Mark? Why Mark? Because we're doing a financial thing here and helping people out. Why are timely payments important?
Because it will mess up your credit score.
How?
Especially
What will
trying
mess
to
up your
purchase-
credit score?
So if you're trying to purchase a house, they'll look at your credit score to see if you're delinquent, how many times. If I'm a lender and you coming to me as a borrower and I look at your financing going, you're not trustworthy, you're risk. So you don't want to be that risk factor when they go look at your file when they go to pull it. So I've always tried to teach them, make sure your payments are taken care of. If you can't make your payments, call your creditor to let them know why you can't do such and such. Creditors will work with you as long as you have that open communication.
Very good. Yeah, credit scores are important. Mine is crappy right
now. It's
now.
FICA. FICA is the one I don't like. I'm like, credit scores basically jumped out the window. Now that FICA is more important.
What you mean FICA, the Social Security?
No, FICA, the FICA score.
Oh, the FICA score, FICA 8 versus FICA 3. Okay, so there's two FICA scores, FICA 8 versus FICA 3. Okay, people should know this. One is more important than the other because I think it's the FICA 8 is where your mortgage is. Yes. Most of the time when you pick up your FICA scores, those are FICA 3s, and what they are is everything except for your mortgage score. Your mortgage score is normally about 30 or 40 points lower than your FICA 3. So if you have a 700, you probably have a 660 FICA 8 score or FICA 3, whichever way is the reverse. So that's you should also know that. That's another thing to know. Yes, timely payments are important because timely payments tell the creditor you are going to pay back your whatever it is that you have out there. There are certain things out there that used to not be on your credit score that are now on your credit score. So all those people who tell you you don't have to pay back the tolls, yes, you do, because now they track your license plate to your registration and your registration to you. So when you don't pay back those tolls, they do hit your score. And if you wait too long, they will mess up your score. For all those people that say when the collectors call and you don't pay them back, it's okay. No, it's only okay.
It's not okay.
Okay. If you have your social security number, if they have your social security number, it is not okay because they trace it back to you. But
hey, you know what else is new?
What's new?
Now, if you're late on your insurance payment, it can go on your credit score. I got my new rule for insurance. If you're late on your payment, it will be a factor on your credit score. I say, Lord, now they get that for your insurance payments.
This is a thing.
Everything.
We can get into insurance, but insurance is the biggest scam in America. But you need to get it. So
we'll talk about another show.
Yeah, we'll talk about another show because people need to know about insurance. It's really bad. Where are we?
No, we're on the Broder Show for the next 10 minutes.
That's okay. I'm happy. Hey, my New York connection is on tonight.
The Broder Show for the next 10 minutes.
Hey, the Rollins were on there earlier.
Rollins, not Rollins.
I'm messing with you tonight. That's all.
Oh, wait a minute. I do wish financial literacy was taught more in church growing up. All I heard was giving tithes and be a good steward of your finances. The class on that growing up would have been nice. Oh, wow.
We talk, yeah.
So, but he's saying, but Malachi's saying that he didn't get that from his dad, I guess, and dad and mom from. The second one didn't get it.
Next, Brodus.
You should never. Well, wait. You're not going to talk about Malachi's statement. He's not.
I had number. He's right.
He's right.
He's right. I can't dispute that. He's right.
All right. You should never fully trust anyone with your money. We all have to learn to manage our own money.
That sounds like Anita.
Anita, so you don't trust Mark with your money, Anita?
She didn't say that. You know she's going to respond to that. Oh, my Lord.
Sometimes your brothers and sisters in Christ won't repay the money because we're all brothers and sisters and should be expected to help each other. Always pray for before lending anybody money. Let's discuss that one. That's a good. So Simon, I say, hey, can I have $1,000? Do you say, let me pray?
I'll say you crazy. No.
Let me say
I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna say let us pray. Because he's gonna be, do I have it or don't I?
Well, that's the question. Let's say you have it.
Let me get back to you.
Yeah, let me get back to you, and then
you can use that moment to.
Someone would say, "Let me talk to God."
But let's say you have it,
and you ask me,
no, me or anybody. Let's somebody you trust.
Yes.
Let's say somebody you're not so sure of and you trust. You don't really trust.
Give him 500. You said 1,000, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah. No, I mean, if someone I don't know or someone's 50-50, I haven't had no kind of conversation relationship with or something like that, that's a different. We have to talk about that one. Yeah, we have to discuss that. It most likely will be no.
And that's where the difficulty lies in, right? Because as spiritual beings and lovers of Christ, that's why I said it's a good point that we should stop at, because they said we should pray. I think a lot of times we make our decisions basically based off of our feelings or what we think we know, and maybe sometimes God is bringing somebody into a place of need that we could help. That's a tough one. That's a tough one because we have to ask ourselves, and here's another tough one, co-signing. We have to ask ourselves that question, right? That's a good comment, Anita. I'm going to give that one to you. That's a good comment.
Yes. We got one.
Oh my God. What kind
Oh Lord. Gotta be someone. Oh, okay, Ken.
Marry a brother or sister with a credit score of less than 680. If a girl asks me my credit score to date me, I'm probably going to tell her we're not going to date very long.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't want to even be around you.
I'm not going to ask her for a credit score, and if she asks me for mine, I'm not going to date her very long. And it's not because I don't think I should have a good credit score, or she shouldn't, but when we're dating, that shouldn't be the biggest worry.
Right. And
because
also you realize
I always have a 680 credit score. Then what are you going to do? Dump me?
Because you got to realize there could be situations why your credit score is what it is. You can be a good person and things happen in life that could have caused you to have not such a great. I mean, truth be told, man, doctors and lawyers, they have terrible credit scores. But the thing about it is they're able to get loans because of their titles.
Yeah.
But their credit scores or the status. So
yeah,
I wouldn't base my relationship on someone else's credit score.
Plus, I might have a horrible credit score today, but I don't know where God's going to take me. Where's my heart?
Exactly.
Where's my work ethic? Where is am I just wasting money? Right? You can have a great credit score and still waste money. Right? Some people don't even have credit scores. There are people that don't want to have credit cards and don't want credit scores. And I tell them that's a bad thing too, because I don't know how you're going to get a house without a credit score unless you're going to pay cash. But they don't have credit scores because they don't want that issue. So I wouldn't date somebody based on a credit score, but there's people out there that believe you should. I'm sure somebody's going to come back and say,
God bless
maybe you should.
Yeah, God bless them.
Right? No cosign.
We did that.
Okay.
But I think you should cosign.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. Back to my queen again. Go ahead.
I didn't realize the importance of credit scores until I got married and had children. Children need to be taught about the importance of managing finances and keeping up scores. It's important to teach them, but it's hard for them to understand. Right? Because normally at early ages, it's easy to keep your credit score good. But then you have to teach your kid about what constitutes a credit score and then why you can easily mess that up. It's all, I don't know what you guys are teasing about, but okay.
It's him. It's him. Anyway, Malachi said, Malachi, we know that your parents taught you well. You don't have to do that.
Yo,
Malachi.
It was me teasing him. It was me teasing him. It's okay.
Yeah, he's in his feelings. Come
the
on.
church was lacking in that.
All right, okay.
The church for the church is right.
Yes,
the church.
it is.
I have to admit that we talked about it a little bit, but folks, if your pastor, if your leader is not doing a financial something,
you're in trouble.
Ask them. Ask them to do something. It is weird. Okay, so for instance, I'm in roofing, right? You all know that I'm in roofing. I have to sometimes get on roofs I don't want to get on. But do you know that our cousins, our Caucasian brothers and sisters who own $2 million houses, it's easy for me to get them to sign up than for me to sign up my own brother and sister who needs a brand new roof because they're not taught the little things.
Yeah.
Their insurance policy that they pay for every year should pay for their roof, but because they don't understand that, they think it's a scam or they think I'm some crazy guy or it's never going to happen. But yet, people who have 3-4 million who can easily pay for their own roof utilize our techniques because they are legal and they are right.
Yeah.
The same thing happens in all aspects of finances. If we don't teach our young people, our kids, the little things, when they get older, they're not going to pay attention and they are going to lose out on certain things. Coupons, which we all laugh at. Oh my God, coupons save you so much. They're taking the extra 3 or 4 minutes to clip a coupon. Over time is a saver. And
I know. I haven't graduated to that yet. That's a challenge.
There are people who are actually in line with their coupons.
Yeah.
And they go, and they're just throwing them down.
And I applaud them. I just like, oh, my queen. I trust Mark. That will be me and my kids with our money. Thank you, babe. I trust you with mine too.
Yeah.
Are you feeling some kind of way over here, sir?
I feel like I'm not going to get no coffee tonight.
What the operative words can I have?
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, we already talked about that, Esther. We had that financial piece at our church, so she's just basically talking about the same
Yeah.
thing.
Awesome.
Oh, here's our good friend, Deborah.
Oh.
He did not say lawyers, all lawyers. He said that there are lawyers that have. Man, people are
What?
really
You getting sensitive?
Come on, Deborah. Please put a smiley face on
Come
this.
on,
Please.
wow.
We need a
Where's
smiley
the
face.
love?
People are testy tonight. Whoa.
And she's right. Anita says, talk to kids and make them understand, because it starts at home. If you don't teach your kids proper financial practices, it's going to mess them up in life.
Yeah, I agree. Financial literacy is very important. Very important. So I think we've been through all. So the question that we had, right, was who can you trust, or should you trust somebody else with your money?
And it all boils down to the thing: trust, transparency, fact checking, if you will, knowing that person, reference if need be.
Should you trust your pastor?
I think you can. Again, back to the trust, transparency, doing your research.
Yeah, I'm a pastor, and you have to definitely do your research.
Let's see how many of your saints will type in.
See, Ken Walsh says no. So then you shouldn't be at that church.
Exactly. Stay in your office, man. Go back to the beach. You're funny, kid. You're funny.
You should be able.
Thank you for the smiley face, Deborah.
Yes, thank you.
You should be able. You should be able to trust your pastor, but your pastor should make himself trustworthy or herself trustworthy.
Exactly.
And if they're not, then you have to question. You have to question the pastor, because the pastor is not good with your money, or would be good to help you financially get through your life cycles. Then how was he dealing with the churches? Because he's an administrator. That's part of one of his responsibilities. He may not be handling the money, but his job is to financially sustain the church. And so you have to be careful.
And even if he can't, he should be able to try to recommend someone who can.
Right. I mean, and trusting your pastor with your money doesn't mean that he's going to be the one, or she's going to be the one to handle it, but meaning that you can have confidence in them that they will help you do whatever it takes to get you
Exactly.
which could be, I'm going to point you out to this person.
Right.
Or I'm going to point you out to this person. There's this member in the church who can help you. They may not be able to help, because not everybody's good with money, but they should be able to recommend. A lot of things I did is I recommended one of my good buddies who was a financial advisor to many people. I just said, talk to this guy. I'm not the financial advisor. He is. I'll give you his number, and he's worked out well for many people. So that's important. So Ken said too many bad apples.
Well, you need to come. You need to try and pick some good ones.
Yeah, he's talking about. Yeah, there's too many. Okay,
too many bad experiences. I'm assuming.
Yeah, but there are bad apples out there. Doesn't mean yours is a bad apple. Right? I don't know. That's something I have to think about. The financial planning class that they had at church was amazing.
Yeah, we talked. Yeah.
Transformation
Church.
I trust my children with my money. Very good. That is actually very good.
We'll leave that one alone. We'll talk about that church later on. We'll leave that one alone.
We shouldn't trust a pastor who wants to see your W-2 form.
Okay, so Anita and Mark, let me say this. There are, in the Orthodox Jewish Church, I believe, they actually pay their tithes based on their previous year W-2s, and they pay one time. So the beginning of the year, they pay it based on the. So I don't know if the head rabbi guy, whoever there, takes a look at it, but that's how they pay it. So I wonder if that's where that guy's getting it from. That church is getting it from. I don't know. But it's interesting because there is the Jewish Orthodox Church that does that. I think it's Jewish Orthodox Church. If anybody knows the Jewish Orthodox Church, is it them that do it? That'd be interesting. Because I think it's Hasidic Jews. Maybe it's Hasidic Jews that do it. They pay one time beginning of the year what their tithe will be.
Okay.
And it's I believe it's based on their W-2 once they receive the W-2 from the previous year.
Mm-hmm. But we can't stress enough that you got to really look at what you have coming in and look at what you have going out. Can't stress that enough. Because again, if you have someone who's looking at your finances or taking care of your finances, if you're not checking in on them, that's your fault. That's your fault. You need to make sure you're keeping tabs on what's going on with your monies.
Yeah,
that's my statement, and I'm sticking with it.
but also, your parents, your grandparents, you as a child or a grandchild, you may want to have those conversations because we talked about it a little bit. When they get older, if certain things set in, there may not be time for POA. So you may want to make sure certain things are done. If your parents do not have a will, hello, let me give Deborah Johnson total props on this. If your parents do not have a will, you need to talk to them and say it's time for you to get a will. It's time. So make sure you go see a lawyer and get a will.
My name Will in my house.
You don't have a will?
No, so I want nobody named Will in my house.
Another man?
Come on, man. No, but you're right. You're right. You're right.
Go get one. If your pastor does not have a will, please tell your pastor to get a will. Important. If your church does not have a I'm sorry. We're almost done.
Oh, wow. Man, this show went by fast.
Was it 2 minutes to go?
Oh, my goodness. Wow. Man, we thank everyone. Wow. What is Shirley talking about?
There is a church that only put an officer in position after seeing your W-2 form.
See, it's going on down here in Maryland.
Yeah, it's going down. We done stirred something up tonight, bro.
I don't know what you all drinking down there, bro.
Yeah, what?
We'll talk about it offline.
What?
Wow. I want to thank everyone for all their comments, tuning in, your likes, your shares, your subscribes.
Family members coming in. We thank you, Bishop Carrington, for your time also. And the whole of the Broders family, Shirley, Stan. I'm going through these names. Thank you all once again, our faithful followers,
Esther.
And the ones that actually don't send a message, but they listen every week. We thank you for everything that you're doing.
Right. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, well, you got one more role to say, and we do.
Oh, stay tuned next week, and you might just hear us say,
"You're welcome."
Welcome. Oh!
I told you guys, I do it like 3 seconds before you all do it. I tell you.
Cut.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Cut.